How you feel about them track kids, Carmelo Anthony and Austin McClav? I think it's his last
I
name.
feel like it's more to the story. It's always gonna be more to the story than what people think or assume.
From what they say, they didn't know each other. They went to 2 different schools.
Just because you go to 2 different schools don't mean that somebody in your inner circle don't know that
because
person.
we didn't have social media back then, and I still knew
Exactly. So
previous middle schools,
it hadn't been that long since we've been in high school. And
it's been about 17 years.
But still, what has really changed? What has really changed? Kids still argue. Kids still beef from other schools to another school. So it could have been confrontation that nobody knew about.
I think more so it's the intent of feeling like you need to bring a weapon to a sports a school sports event. It's like the weapon should have never been there. It should never been necessary. There's no weapons on school functions, school activities.
So do they not check backpacks when the athletes come?
They probably do at the school, but probably thinking not at the event. There's gonna be cops and stuff, and no one's gonna try it because it's a school event. It's a family event. It's an event where knives aren't, that's not a competition. That's not, there wasn't a knife sport competition there where you needed a knife. It was a track meet. And I think that's the biggest question is, when he put that knife in his bag, what was the sole purpose and intent of that knife?
Once again, this takes me back to, was there some kind of online confrontation? Was there some words of exchanging?
Even if there was a online confrontation, there is a time and a place. And there's parents, there's adults, there's police officers, there's teachers, there's principals. There's many people that you could talk to get through this conflict.
Yeah.
Like conflict resolution. What happened to that? What happened to the students sitting down and talking with staff and resolving the issue? But instead, nothing should have led to a death. Nothing should have led to someone dying.
No, I should never get to that extreme measure. I just hate that it happened. And hopefully they get down to the nitty-gritty.
And not just that, even the line saying, touch me and see what happens. Do it and see what happens. So there was some sort of intent because he knew what he had. Doesn't mean the other kid knew what he had. He knew it was in that bag.
First of all, why are you in their tent, baby? Go to your tent. Where's your team? Where's your team? Go to your team's tent. I wouldn't, even when I did soccer and stuff like that, why would you go to another person's tent? And
listen, the only reason why their tent's up, great chance, is because of the weather. It was raining. Yeah. Okay? So it looked like it went down in bleachers. So he was in a section of the bleachers that weren't his teammates. So why are you in a section of bleachers under these folks' tent? Because you got caught in the rain? Well, if they asked you to leave, leave. So there ain't no confrontation.
Or was his bag already under their tent and his coach told him you could leave your stuff right there?
I guess we'll get
more. I need to know. I need answers. I need somebody to chop it up with me and tell me the factual truth of what went down. You got video? Send me the clips. I feel like
the whole thing is the knife should have never even been there.
It's that part.
It should have never resulted in someone's death.
It shouldn't have.
No.
But once again, it makes you wonder, did the parents not check his backpack? Did the parents not talk to their kid?
And you gotta think, what is self-defense? Self-defense is if you cannot leave, you cannot get out of the way. Stand your ground law is completely different. And there's some states that have a stand your ground where you don't have to leave. You can fight it out, till deadly harm. But I don't believe Texas is a stand your ground state. I don't think that is the case for self-defense there. I want to say,
because they're not open carry.
If you have an opportunity to leave, if you have an opportunity to retreat to safety, if you have an opportunity to de-escalate, without threat, if you create, from what I read, if you create bodily harm after you threat, that does not conclude self-defense.
Well, isn't that what he tried to say? It was self-defense.
Right. He threatened before the action. By saying, do it and see what happens. Yeah. That doesn't conclude self-defense, because at any point in time, he could have retreated. He could have walked backwards. He could have left. He could have went a different direction. The conversation could have been de-escalated instead of escalating. Yeah. And it led to someone's death.
I just hate it. The parent had to lose their child.
Yeah.
And the thing was, I know it saw online where the twin brother to the child that passed held him until to his last breath. Now that is trauma. That child probably not gonna say he needs counseling or anything, But to just think you sitting there and you're holding your sibling that looks identical to you, take their last breath. And even when he did the public speaking, when he was talking about it, his whole face just looked like it was frozen. Like his mouth was moving and his eyes were just still. So it's like he kept playing it back.
There's a whole lot of
over
shock.
and
a whole
over.
lot of shock. It's like, what could we have done different?
Yeah.
How could this have ended differently? Nothing. There's nothing that could have changed the outcome of this, other than the individual not bringing a knife.
Do you feel like the gentleman that did the stabbing? Do you feel like his parents didn't even do enough?
I think it's crazy that he's out. I think it's crazy that we know that he actively stabbed someone and at a school event, and that he's out free right now. I think that's wild.
That lets me know that it's more to the story that we don't know about, because if it was an adult and the adult did this, they wouldn't be out.
Regardless, any type of bullying should have not led to anyone's death. There's bullies in schools.
You're right.
There's bullies at schools. There's bullies at work. There's bullies shopping. Wherever you go, you're gonna run into a bully, and it shouldn't lead to you resulting to killing them. You're gonna kill your boss. You're gonna kill your supervisor. You're gonna kill the asshole manager at Walmart. No, you're not. No. You're just gonna learn to deal with that type of bully and move on. It ain't gonna result to violence. It ain't gonna result to someone's death. And if it does, police get involved, and I'm pretty sure you won't be walking around.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's crazy that there's this young 17-year-old that harmed another 17-year-old that is now free. And that we are very aware that he did do it.
I think it's going to come down to the parents also, because they're going to start asking the parents, where did he get this knife? What made him feel like it was okay to stab somebody else's child instead of bringing it to another adult or official saying, hey, this person was just in my face. All I was doing was sitting in their tent because of the storm. Like, to me, those are little things he could have did. Oh, you going to talk to me like that?
But if they
whatever.
ask you to leave, leave.
Exactly. I mean,
they ask you to leave.
He should have left. Just like somebody was saying in a recording, hey, the kid asked him, hey, you need to leave. Get out of our tent. But if you proceed to threaten that person and say, keep on talking to me or whatever.
Again, we'll have more information. We only have what was given to us as of right now.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure more information. I'm sure cell phone footage. I'm sure a lot of things will be released at some point in time.
And if y'all see something we haven't seen, share it. Yeah.
I just seen that the family is supposedly, allegedly spending the GoFundMe money.
I saw that, but I did see where the young man's parents did do a what was it? Where they did a speaking.
Well, they said the father has been home because of threats.
I saw that.
The father hasn't gone back to work.
But it makes you, as a parent, they move. Who moves supposedly that quick?
They moved. They got a new vehicle. All that because of the threats, supposedly, from my understanding, allegedly.
Yeah, they millionaires.
The house. Well, the vehicle might not be because of the threats. The house for sure, because they moved.
But I'm just saying.
The vehicle might not be. The vehicle might just be because they need a new vehicle. Who knows? It might be part of the situation.
I do know when they did the speaking and they were at the podium, the mom did say people were accusing them of using the funds for other things like buying a house, splurging.
I know that they're supposed to be speaking. I also seen that they flipped it because the dad came and they tried to make it about the dad being there.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, which was crazy.
Well, it's public. Listen, But
hold on, when the dad came to me, it didn't seem like he was disrespectful. He had a straight face.
He didn't speak.
He didn't raise his arm. The man looked like he had a broken arm and was just.
It's the fact that the family was intimidated by him. The fact that
people only get intimidated like that if you know your child.
What their child did to their child.
Yeah.
And they're ashamed, and I think that has a lot to do with it. They're ashamed and embarrassed from what their kid did. And
as they should be, but at the end of the day, if the dad came on good intentions just to be there and to hear their side of the story, it shouldn't have been escalated and he shouldn't have been removed the way he was out of the building. You ain't got to embarrass nobody. He didn't tell your child to do that to his son. So at the end of the day, I saw what the lawyers were saying. Oh, it's disrespectful. He shouldn't have been here. He wasn't invited. Listen here. The man didn't say anything. He just stood there with glasses on, and you can tell he was brutally hurt. Mm-hmm. That was a dad that was internally hurt. I didn't see the mama. Didn't see the mama, but I did see the dad.
Those parents,
and he was quiet.
Those parents shouldn't have kicked him out. They should have welcomed him to that stage and let him speak. If anything, they should have embraced him and apologized to him.
They probably weren't gonna let him speak, but they could have let him stay. They should have
embraced him and they should have apologized to him for what their son did to their son.
Well, it sounded like to me that they were afraid for themselves because they didn't know what he was going to do.
They didn't do it. Their son did it.
No, but at the end of the day,
That's
if
how
you said the dad is
and that's how
fearing,
you handle the situation.
you said the dad was fearing for his life at work.
If you weren't scared of him, you should have invited him up.
But they were scared.
And let him speak.
Yeah, it's a bunch of crazy. But I think this takes over everything.
You show unity for one thing, you know.
Yeah, but over everything that we discussed right now, it's like this is a situation that has gotten out of hand dramatically at a lot of schools.
Kids bringing knives to schools is terrible. I don't even know why they say
knives, guns. Kids stab people with pencils.
Knives, guns, yeah. Yeah. I don't even know
anything.
I don't understand why it's straight to bodily harm, you know. I get fighting is one thing, but bodily harm is another. Hey, the rain is here.
We'll be back tomorrow to finish this up. But y'all let us know in the comments what y'all think about this situation. If you're a parent, put your thoughts in there, and we'll see y'all later.
Till next time.
Bye, y'all.